A firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
This is Dr. Sebastian Gorka. President Obama's 8 years of leading from behind left the world in flames. From Russia's invasion of Ukraine to North Korea's missile tests and a growing ISIS caliphate. Under President Trump, American leadership is being restored. But that does not mean our enemies have disappeared. That's why I wrote my new book, Why We Fight: Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies. As a former deputy assistant to President Trump for strategy, I explained the threats posed by enemies like Russia, China, and the global jihadi movement. We must know our enemies and have the will to defeat them. In my book, Why We Fight, we take off the political correctness blinders of the Obama years and learn how we can vanquish our enemies without mortal combat.
Sebastian Gorka's new book, Why We Fight: Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies, is available now from Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight we begin a 4-week journey looking at the Illinois political candidates David and Gretchen are endorsing in the November 6th election. With us in the studio tonight is Jim Dodge, candidate for the state of Illinois Treasurer. Feel free to give us a call at 312-642-5600 with questions or comments about the state of Illinois' fiscal situation and what he proposes to do about it. And don't forget, you can watch us live on YouTube, On Target Radio, or go to Facebook, like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's rant.
This is what happens when the engineer takes it on himself. Last week, I declared, what was my rant of the week? Do you remember last week? Your mic was off.
You're done doing rants of the week.
Ta-da! One listener, the one across here. If I'm motivated,
Thank God I was paying attention.
if I'm deeply motivated, I may write another one. But it's a pain in the neck. Been doing it for 6 years, right?
Yes.
So you're going to be doing rant of the week from now on, right?
It's a grind. Maybe after the election.
Oh, I'm going to remember you said that.
I said maybe.
Yeah.
I qualified it.
Well, that's fine. Jim Dodge is going to be our guest this evening, and we'll give him an appropriate introduction when he arrives, but he's stuck in traffic. I think it's an excuse. I think he listened to the show last week, and he heard the infamous water animal. Notice George is hovering with the button all of a sudden when I say that, and he thought, I'm not going to go on that show.
He was like, these people are a bunch of clowns.
Exactly. But he did send, and he will be here. He's just bogged down in traffic. He did send interns, and
we have a plethora of interns.
A plethora, that is true. We have a plethora of interns, and Caleb is in here now. You go to what school again?
Manila High School.
Right. So anyway,
what he said.
Yeah. But we will take. I think it's in a way it's fortuitous that Jim's going to be a little bit late because we really didn't have any space to talk about the Ron or Pritzker thing in the next 4 weeks, and that's probably an oversight on my part. We should have really thought that through. So now is probably a good time to do it. When we were at the ISRA fundraiser on Wednesday night, I gave a little talk about this, and I think you agree, don't you, that a vote for anybody other than Rauner is a vote for Pritzker?
Yes. And for all intents and purposes, yes.
And people are saying the conservative is the one that claims he's a conservative.
Sam McCann.
Is McCann. And we found out and heard what I think is,
Right. There's several damning things about McCann. So McCann's petitions, so he decided to run as a third-party candidate, so he had to get petitions signatures after the other two had already done it. And he probably didn't have a lot of time to do it. And so the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, paid for petition circulation services for McCann.
Which is not inexpensive.
Right. So that was about $60,000. And then they also gave him a little bit of money over and above that for something else because he reported his second report was for $77,700 from that union. And then he previously had received $50,000 from that union. So he's already gotten over $100,000 from Local 150. And they, in the primary, they endorsed J.B. Pritzker. So that's the damning thing about that, of why are they trying to help a third-party candidate get into the race when they already endorsed Pritzker?
And the answer is Ross Perot.
Right. What I read earlier today was that they expect Sam McCann, to pull 3 to 5% away from Rauner, just in case J.B. Pritzker needed a little extra cushion, that would give it to him. And so, Rauner, as you know, in 2014, Rauner figured he needed to get at least 10% extra
right,
to make up for the vote fraud that the Democrats were sure to perpetrate. And so the Democrats, in turn, in addition to their traditional vote fraud, they want to add another 3 to 5% pull away from Rauner to, again, give that 3 to 5% cushion to Pritzker is essentially what it will do. The other thing that I found, and obviously this is a website that Rauner's people put out. I mean, I'm not dumb. I didn't, I wasn't born last night. That McCann knows he can't win, so he's teaming up with allies of Pritzker and Madigan to play the part of spoiler and profit along the way. And so everybody knows if you run for president, your speaker fees go up.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I imagine it's not unlike that for running for governor. Of course, we could ask Dan Prof sometime.
We could. You got him a job, man.
But he's also done some other things. In 2010, he lied about serving in the Marines, and he had a home in Florida that was foreclosed on because he didn't make more than $150,000 in mortgage payments. He owns a business with more than $200,000 in tax liens from the IRS and Illinois Department of Employment Security. And he faces several lawsuits for unpaid credit card debt, totaling nearly $20,000. So McCann's got some money problems. He's probably lining his pockets. I'm sure he's getting possibly a payoff as well as, the speaker fees that he can expect to collect after this run.
And then we have a libertarian that seems to be drawing some support, not a whole lot.
Cash Jackson,
which is
a stage name for all intents and purposes.
Well, did you see what his name was?
No, I didn't catch that.
Just Google.
You want me to Google it? Okay.
Yeah.
I Google.
I
do the Google.
Yeah, it's interesting what his actual name is. But here's the gist of what this is all about. And by all means, please weigh in. Give us a call, 312-642-5600.
His name is Grayson. That's a good name. Grayson?
No.
Oh. I read a little deeper. Born October 4th, 1978 as Benjamin Winderweedle.
Winderweedle, yes.
You know what? I'd change my name too.
I would change it too, yeah. I would be Bob Winderweedle. But anyway.
I would probably change my name to Gretchen Fritz. Wow.
Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Benjamin Winderweedle. Yeah, and that one I did not know.
Here's the problem. The problem is twofold. Number one, all the critics say Rauner can't win. And so we have some percentage of the population who are saying, you know what, I'm not even going to turn. Why bother? Why bother voting?
Right.
That's a problem.
That's a big problem.
Not voting is a vote for Pritzker. Okay? Not voting for Rauner is a vote for Pritzker.
Yes.
And then you've got that contingent who's saying, well, I don't like Rauner. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Rauner's not a conservative, quote unquote, as we think of a conservative.
He never was.
But he's a backstop. He has stopped things. He's vetoed things.
That is true, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment. He has been quite a good backstop.
So this concept of I'm going to vote my conscience and I'm going to vote for Winterweedle or whatever the heck it is, or I'm going to vote for McCann. No, this is not the time to vote your conscience. This is Ross Perot, once again, resurfacing, right? These people will siphon off votes from Rauner, which will allow Pritzker to win. You can't say that it's impossible for Rauner to win. It isn't impossible, but it is if you don't turn out and vote for him.
What I will say also is that in 2014, they said it was impossible for Rauner to win. And he did.
And he certainly did. And
there's that as well.
That's my point. It's, I gave the little Theodore Roosevelt, it's not the critic that counts talk. And that's a fact. Don't let people talk you into not voting or talk you into, well, I'm going to vote my conscience. Because if you vote your conscience and that's not Rauner, you're going to get J.B. Pritzker. That's what's going to happen.
Right. And how does your conscience feel about that?
Exactly. So there are people who just have a problem with that. But you really have to vote for Rauner.
I agree. I was just saying you have 2 minutes left.
Oh, I have 2 minutes. Oh, yeah. Well, my clock
not now.
My clock is not working. And George is not paying attention to me whatsoever.
You have like a minute and a half now.
Yeah, it's a minute and a half. We're fine. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. We are going to have our trusty intern, Caleb, out the program. You're going to hear music come up in the headset, Caleb, and when it does, it's time for you to get up here. This is a little experiment, but we're giving we got 3 interns. We're going to give them a chance all to be on the air, and then they can go. Can you see where the monitor is up there? That's what you'll see. So
heavy emphasis on experiment.
Experiment, yes. Well, we're experimental, We're going to give them a shot at it, and then they can go back and watch the show on YouTube and see themselves. That'll be the beginning of who knows? They may end up with marvelous careers in broadcasting or something.
That's right.
Or like me. And
no,
nothing.
I wish you would only speak for yourself. I am not experimental. I've never tried drugs. There's a whole litany of things I've never tried.
Yeah, no, that's true. You're a good person. All I did was take 3 hits off a joint in Vietnam. That was it. That's the sum total of my drug experience. And I went to the University of Illinois in the 70s, where you couldn't go to class without getting high. Okay, anyway.
Okay, step on up, young man.
This is it. Do it.
We'll be right back with more On Target Radio. You're listening to 560 AM, The Answer.
It worked. It worked. You see?
My overrating's bad.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
I didn't know, too, that we could tip Uber drivers.
Didn't know.
This is new to me.
Every time you complete a ride, it pops up with a rating, and then if you want to add a tip. 2.5 Uber rating for Amy Jacobson, 4.88.
What?
Thank you for Dan Proft.
You just not even say anything to them when you get in the car?
Correct. That's the secret to getting a high Uber rating.
Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the pumpkin express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And here's the traffic report. Jim Dodge is still hung up in traffic somewhere. We have no idea where.
We could reverse the show.
Mary
and
knows.
Start
You know
with
where?
the action items.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. Will he be in time for the post-show briefing? It's perfect. He's probably listening.
That'll be great.
I bet he's listening.
Do you want to start with action items and then we'll free up time at the end?
This is it. You know what? See, this is why we pay you
It's
the big
like,
bucks.
a minute and a half.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Join On Target Radio at Fiesta de Fritz, Monday, October 29th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Habanero in Plainfield. Requested donation is $40 per person, which includes a full Mexican taco dinner buffet and soft drinks. Help me get reelected to the Will County Board and keep out the donkey. Save the date for the Villa Park VFW Gun Show, Saturday, November 10th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at VFW Post 2801 on St. Charles Road. Admission is just $5. This will be their largest show yet. Vendors will include local and national companies such as 511 Tactical, Fox River Ammunition, North American Firearms, Damsel in Defense, and many more. Snacks and lunch will be available for purchase. There will be live range demos, gun raffles, and door prizes. Come support the veterans. I put all that on Facebook earlier today. The following Safe for USA class is at our facility in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, October 20th and 21st, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. To sign up for classes, go to SaferUSA.com and click on Register.
Why is it when I talk about a furry little creature, I get beeped, and she talks about an ass and doesn't?
Context.
I didn't say that. I
Donkey,
said,
ass,
I said
what is it?
donkey.
Donkey.
I still have her disclaimer from a couple years ago if you want it.
That'd be good.
It's Ed at like
Can you-
8 times speed.
Can you fire that off? That would be
Yeah,
great.
here we go.
That'd be perfect.
A copy of our report filed with the State Board of Elections is or will be available at the State Board of Elections website, www.elections.il.gov, or for purchase from the State Board of Elections, Springfield, Illinois, 62704.
Perfect.
That was like 80 seconds of audio condensed down to 10. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
exactly.
perfect.
He was on his third, what is he? I forget what he drinks.
He was drinking Monsters that day
Yeah.
instead of his
That's exactly.
instead of his brandy.
Yeah. This may not be the most carefully planned out show.
You think? Actually, for the benefit of those not on the inside, actually last week's show was carefully planned out.
Which is
although
it
may not have seemed like it,
Yeah.
we actually did have a plan tonight.
All except the furry rodent part.
Tonight, due to unforeseen circumstances, we have no plan.
No. One's not showing, and the other one is pedaling fast. But probably we'll get here for the close. We could get him to do the. We'll be back with more on Target Radio.
That's all he's going to have time for.
We don't have a strategy yet.
No one can ever say we don't have fun.
One of our Facebook followers said these are the best shows.
They are. I've heard that from people.
They like it when we pull it out of our you know what. They like it.
You can't. Seriously, you can't imagine how much email and text and stuff I've gotten about the Beaver show. I mean, it was just
as soon as you asked me. As soon as you brought up wearing mink on the range, and it didn't start out as a mink, I knew what was going to happen.
It was going to go downhill.
I knew where it was going, and I knew that the listeners were going to love it.
So we got to do more shows about furry animals. That's the only conclusion I can come to.
You know what? If anybody has seen my Facebook page, you know I love furry animals.
That's true.
You can do a show about me.
Well,
I'm a furry animal.
Let me think about that. Yeah, but you're dangerous.
That's
you're
true.
dangerous game.
I am a carnivorous furry animal.
He is a furry animal.
Yeah. We could do one about a carbivore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
That's I'm an expert on that. Well, I keep holding Jim's intro, hoping that I will see him
at any
walk by the
moment
window.
we'll need it.
At any moment he will need it. Although, nope, Eric is still in there, so obviously he's not here yet. There's motion in the backfield. Are they going to get him?
All right, let's talk about something else because this is boring.
This is boring. So we'll talk about anything you want. Let's talk about.
Should we talk about the Constitutional Rights Dinner?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a good idea.
We just had that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
This past Wednesday.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking about what's coming up. We're going to have a panel.
Oh, the Freedom Summit.
Yeah. For those of you who actually listen to the show and take it seriously, which is, I think, your mother, but...
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And my father.
And your father.
My father is as serious as a heart attack.
He does. He is, yeah. WIND AM 560 has a thing coming up called Freedom Summit. And it is, do you remember what day it is?
It is Saturday, October 27th.
Okay, Saturday, October 27th. It's an all-day event. It really is good. We've been to them in the past.
Yes.
This year's speakers, I forget exactly who they have.
I can pull it up real quick. I know Heather McDonald is one of them.
There's several big-name speakers, though, that are going to be there. And it's an all-day event. There's lunch, and although I think the VIP tickets are sold out, but there's still tickets available otherwise. And then we're doing breakouts. There's 4 breakouts at the end of the day, and we are doing one of the breakouts, and that's the status of gun rights. And it's going to be myself and Gretchen, and we're going to have Todd Vandermeide, who used to be the NRA lobbyist in Illinois and now represents the FFLs, and Margot McDermott, who's in the state legislature. And it'll be a breakout panel. There's, how many people would you say usually get to the whole thing? There's probably
a few hundred.
Probably 400 or 500 people, I think.
Yeah, it
would
just
attend.
depends.
Yeah.
Okay, I had it and then I lost it.
So it's really a good event. You can go online. You can go to
go.
AM 560 website.
Yeah, so the website is 560theanswer.com. Okay, 560theanswer. So Heather McDonald, James O'Keefe, my favorite, Sheriff David Clark, and then, of course, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Mike Gallagher, also from Salem Radio, Noah Rothman, who's like the new young wunderkind. I actually just found out who he was the other day, and Kurt Schlichter. Those are the headliners.
And then we're doing a breakout.
And then us.
On gun rights. So that should be real interesting. And there are still tickets available, not the VIP ones, but there are still tickets available. And we've always enjoyed going. We've always had a good time.
Yeah, so there's a premium silver ticket available for $109. It's full access and breakfast, which includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and $45 economy ticket, which is no meals. It's just access to the summit itself.
White box lunch with a Hershey bar. Yeah.
Not even.
But no, it is definitely worthwhile. And I'm really looking forward to doing the panel on gun rights. So we'll see how that works out. And I think Jim is here. I can feel the
Do we have
vibration.
trumpets, George?
I can feel no rose petals. We're going to throw rose petals.
Oh, I thought maybe we had some trumpets too.
So we forgot the rose petals.
Announces.
Oh, here comes Eric around the bend, and look who's here. Let him in. Let him in. He's welcome to come in. Okay, in the studio tonight, kicking off our 4-week journey counting down to the November 6th election is Jim Dodge. Jim Dodge is a rare combination of private sector executive with decades of elected public service, first as a trustee for Orland Park and subsequently as its mayor pro tem. Dodge is running for State of Illinois Treasurer. The Treasurer of the State of Illinois is the Chief Financial Officer of the Government of Illinois, is responsible for maintaining the state funds and acting as the state's bank. Very few Illinoisans are aware of the existence of the state's treasurer, let alone what he does. When it comes to state of Illinois money, it all flows through the state treasurer. My question for Jim is, given the nature of the treasurer's job and you have a comptroller job separate, why are these not handled by the same person?
Well, they should. And that's been one of the biggest questions in Illinois politics for a while, which is why not put these two offices together? I think it's been floated since, I don't know, at least 2010 in that range.
It's certainly not the first time.
And there's finally now legislation that's been voted on by the Senate. And I think more than a few people get that you'd like to have one constitutional officer directly answerable to the taxpayers. Someone's got to keep Springfield honest, or more honest, shall we say.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, we're all optimistic, right? But realistically, you could put the two together under one constitutional office.
Could you not save money doing that?
It's at least $12 million a year. The generally accepted estimate is $12 million.
That's excellent.
Well, it's a start, right? You're not going to save Illinois with just $12 million, right? But I think that the people of Illinois would see it as an act of trust. We trust their judgment better than what we see out of Springfield.
So my question is, how do you make that happen? Does the General Assembly need to do something to make that happen?
The first thing we need to do is get it through the House.
Okay.
We'll be back with more on Target Radio. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place, and you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
Fox News, I'm Mike Piazza. Mounting tensions between the United States and Saudi Arabia. Fox's Gernal Scott.
There is bipartisan sentiment against allowing a multi-billion-dollar arms deal if the disappearance and possible death of Jamal Khashoggi is linked to Saudi leaders. Saudi Arabia has threatened to retaliate against any sanctions with, as a statement said, an even stronger measure.
Khashoggi was last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Turkey October 2nd. The president got some help from his director of the National Economic Council, explaining his feelings about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates.
He is not telling them or mandating them to change their strategy. He's not telling them to change their policy.
Larry Kudlow on ABC's This Week. This is Fox News.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Gecometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
This stuff is the best stuff I've ever taken. I don't take any medicine. I take nothing. If I get a little scratchy throat or even a headache, I take the vegetables. It works very fast. Or I'm feeling like a little down, tired, I take 3 of them, 4 of them, and I'm right up back to where I was. It's unreal how this stuff works, and I rave about it. This guy's a genius when it comes down to it. If anyone's skeptical about taking something, I get it. There's thousands of products out there. Look, you can be confident in this because the one thing that makes me really, really happy about is that you guys make the capsules out of a plant-based product. It's not crap. It's real food, like you would put on the dinner table.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, honey, what's going on?
I was just logging in and checking on our account, and I thought we were going to do better this year.
I know. I've been trying to watch what I spend. No more stopping for coffee for me.
I don't think giving up coffee is going to do it. We need more income for our day-to-day, not to mention setting aside something for the kids' college and our retirement.
Man, I wish there was an answer.
For most of us, no one ever taught us how to invest, yet it's a skill that we all need. If you're looking to generate extra income, Online Trading Academy, the leader in financial education, can help. Attend one of Online Trading Academy's free introductory classes, and they'll show you how to create monthly, weekly, or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros just for attending. Register now by calling 888-984-TRADE, 888-984-8723, or OTAChicago.com. 888-984-TRADE or OTAChicago.com.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And we're back. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Live in this studio, is Jim Dodge, who is running for treasurer of the state of Illinois.
I thought I was bringing it back.
You know what? As soon as I said that, I knew I had stepped on
I'm sitting here going,
let's start all over again. Go ahead.
Redo.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We have Jim Dodge, candidate for Illinois State Treasurer, here in the studio. And right before we went to break, he was answering the question, how do we get rid of the comptroller's office? How do we consolidate treasurer and comptroller?
It's passed by the Senate. It's held up by Madigan in the House. Everybody that I've talked to around the state sees that this makes sense to do. So most people would like to see this happen, and they know the problem right now is Mike Madigan. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
So we have to take a little work to get him to change his mind.
Well,
Madigan?
Yeah.
I don't know that there is a way to be honest. Everything else that we've tried to convince him to do, he's,
on this one,
he's like a mule.
He's kind of stuck. He doesn't want to give up the patronage.
Right. Exactly. Obviously.
It's a patronage question.
Exactly. He's got Susanna Mendoza, and he's got all of her staffers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all patronage jobs.
It's pretty simple, and Illinois doesn't need this office. We're one of 3 out of 50 states that do it like this.
That's amazing.
the rest of the country is telling us something, but Springfield doesn't want to listen.
Well, we're always 50 out of 50, so we're used to it.
Because we know better. We know better.
Apparently.
It is.
Apparently.
What, you've been traveling around the state a lot, right? Because it is a statewide office. What are you hearing about the whole election and the whole thing?
As almost universally, no matter where I've been in this state, the first thing that comes up when I ask people what they're concerned about, it's taxes. So
Yeah.
whether it's property taxes, whether it's income taxes, or the mileage tax, or all the other sneak attacks that they're discussing, first top of mind. And then second is a broader issue. They're really worried about the future. And Dave, as I've talked to folks, it's not so much this vague notion of worried about the future. It's what that means for their business, for their family, what they care about. So there's a deep well of emotional concern about where the state goes. Everybody, we're a great state, but for Springfield.
No, you're absolutely right. And Pritzker has gone on record as touching a number of things that we feel strongly about. He said that no Illinoisan should own a military-style weapon, which he's specifically talking about AR-15s, which, no Illinoisan should have high-capacity magazines. And the other thing, he wants to tax the wealthy. But what's his definition of wealthy? Because he's getting out of taxes. So I think we're we're the wealthy.
Chances are high that any household making more than $75,000 a year combined will see a massive personal income tax increase.
Yeah.
By way of example, in California, it's 8 at that level, so it's 3% more than what we're paying. People need to just pull out a calculator, do the math, and say, that's how much JB wants to grab from me, let alone the property tax.
And then the Democrats are saying that J.B. Pritzker has never said he's never put forward a plan where he's going to put GPS in cars and measure mileage. But what he has said is the Oregon model would be a good thing for us to follow. Well, what is the Oregon model? You go to a third-party vendor and buy a GPS device. They install it in your car. And you know what? And we've talked about this, the privacy issues. It's one thing they're going to charge us by the mile, but they're also going to know where everybody is.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge invasion of privacy.
I think they went to George Orwell as an advisor on that one.
Tell Jim.
I say that all the time. I'm like, 1984 was a warning, not an instruction manual.
Exactly. Absolutely. It's Orwellian. And, the funny thing is JB didn't have to have said it. Cullerton, who is bought and paid for and controlled for by Madigan, already filed legislation to do exactly this in 2016. They've already taken a run up the hill. They're gonna do this if they can.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that's going to stop it is enough votes in the House or a governor that says no.
And that's the problem. And we were talking before you got here about how people are saying, well, the critics are saying, he can't win. I'm going to sit this one out. And I'm like, it's bad enough if you don't vote, because that's a vote for Pritzker. Right. But if you vote if I'm going to vote my conscience and vote for these other guys, that's a vote for Pritzker.
Well, in no uncertain terms, it is a vote for somebody else, because the Democrats, I guess this is the right word, to their credit, have brilliantly come up with the strategy of breaking up the vote right of center into 3 candidates.
Exactly.
And so, there's some challenges here, but, let's not let Pritzker grab the governor's mansion because he does a Clinton. He wins with less than 50% of the vote.
Well, and that's what I'm afraid of. And we've been really pushing hard on this. You got to vote. You got to bring somebody with you. You got to get two more people. We're going to have to take a break coming up here, but that's a very, very big deal. And when we come back, I'm going to talk a little more about what you're hearing around the state, because I'd like to get a feel for what people really think. You have Cook County, and then you got the rest of the state. And so we need to sort of parse that a little bit, and we need to find out what you're hearing anyway on the ground. But before we do that, we have our third intern who's going to come up and going to take us out.
We'll be back with more on Target Radio. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Have you ever seen what really goes on in your caterer's or favorite restaurant's kitchen? What does the kitchen look like? How big is the operation? And maybe most importantly, who's cooking my meal? When you cater with Tasty Catering, you get more than quality food and event planning. You get an invitation to see what goes on throughout our entire building, including our kitchen.
We call it our open kitchen door policy. Come see for yourself why we are so proud of what we do, and gain the peace of mind that comes with knowing the who's, the what's, the where's, and the how's of the way we prepare your food. Visit tastycatering.com for more information, or contact a Tasty Catering sales representative and set up a time to come meet with us at our home. You can't put a price on peace of mind, but if you had to, all it takes is one visit. Call 847-593-2000, 847-593-2000, or start your visit through our open doors at tastycatering.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Gear up for hunting season at Shrink Smoke and Gun. All in-stock rifles and shotguns are 10% off during the month of October. If a pistol is what you're looking for, take 15% off all used .380 and .45 ACP pistols. It's also time for Glocktober deals. Stop in for the lowest prices allowed for all Glock firearms. And with the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, you'll avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax with just a short drive north. For gunsmithing, you know you can count on family-owned Shrinks for over half a century. Cigar lovers, be sure to stock up from Shrink's Humidors. And don't miss Shrink's special Glocktober sale. Visit smoketheletterN.gun.org or call 847-662-4034. That's 847-662-4034 or online at smoketheletterN.gun.org. Shrink Smoking Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We've got Jim Dodge in the studio with us. He is candidate for Illinois State Treasurer. And Jim, you said you wanted to talk about what you're hearing about Pritzker's money and how it's going down to the local races.
Yes. So by way of scale, he recently gave himself $20 million for his campaign. That's more than Pat Quinn spent in his last election, in his entirety.
The entire election.
And so what's happening now is, since he's self-funding, a lot of money that used to go to the top of that ticket has kind of rolled down the hill a little bit. So it's impacting races like mine, but it's also impacting all of your state rep and your state senate and even some county board races. And so the game has changed. In different spots of Illinois, I have people come up and tell me that they're trying to listen to something on Pandora and they get hit with Pritzker ads. Or they're trying to watch a movie on Hulu and they get hit with Pritzker ads. So it's saturation bombing, to use the military phrase. Yeah. And it's now the stage of the campaign where they're trying to get people who haven't thought about it to just go for likability as opposed to, I'm going to tax the hell out of you and maybe ruin your state. That's not being discussed, of course.
That's the thing that I can't understand, and I've been saying this for a while. And why run for governor? Why spend millions or billions of dollars to run for governor of a state that's failing? Is it just ego?
In this case, it sure feels like it. I'd like to think that Bruce Rauner is an honorable man and has been fighting the right fight for the right reasons. Obviously, the first round's been very tough.
Right, yeah.
And,
I agree. I think you're right.
And so now along comes JB, and he's been begging for this office. He's run for office before and spent ungodly amounts of money. So,
and apparently he was trying to get Blagojevich to give him something.
Right, and so
jail time.
Maybe don't tempt me. Right, so. Whether it's a satiating an ego need or he sees this as another way to serve, if we want to be completely charitable, But if you look at the history of the money and the impact, and then some of his recent judgments, like, it's morally offensive that you have that much money, and then you game a system to save about in your property taxes, which means I paid more as a Cook County resident. So did a lot of people. That's what he spends per day in his campaign. So there's orders of magnitude on scale plus the judgment. It's like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, there's just no logic to it.
I came across, you remember George Carlin?
Yeah.
So when George Carlin started as a comedian, he did stuff like Al Sleet, the Hippie Weatherman. It was funny stuff. And then he went into the Catholic school phase because he was a Catholic school kid. And that was funny. I went to Catholic school. But then he got on this anti-American bent. I don't know if you remember that. And he was saying, like, you think you have freedom, you don't have freedom. The corporations own everything. They own the politicians own you. You're doing what they want. When they give you a choice, it's a choice of two things that they want, both of them. And he would rant and rave about this. And it wasn't a comedy act anymore. It was this proselytizing like Lenny Bruce did. And I remember I got very disenchanted and I just stopped listening to George Carlin. Now, that was, I want to say, the 70s maybe.
Okay.
I happened to come across George Carlin doing that about 2 months ago on YouTube.
On YouTube, right.
Everything that man said came true. He was right on every single thing that he said. And I'm listening to that, I'm going, oh my God, he saw this back then.
How the political discourse and the system has been tortured by the money. Right.
We have no say in anything. They know what's going to happen in advance. They've got it all planned out, and basically we don't have a say.
And that's really unfortunate because as I spend a lot of time talking with folks, which is what I love about this business, people care, and many people are willing to have a rational discussion. You have a point of view, I have a point of view. Somewhere in the middle, there's a way to solve this problem. Unfortunately, with the money and the anger, as I see it, especially on the left, it's changing the debate in ways that are not healthy for our democracy.
Oh, absolutely. The time was Democrats and Republicans in the Congress would go into a back room, light cigars, they beat on each other, and they come back out and they had a deal. And they honored the deal.
Right.
They don't even talk. They can't even talk.
No, it's and some of it goes with media. It's so easy to stay in your own chosen bubble. Whatever your belief set is, you could just feed yourself 24/7 with people who are in your same echo chamber. That's not helpful for dialogue or discussion or solving policies. And then we see it at the local level too. People get into an echo chamber and they don't want to think.
Look at what they did to what's his name? It's for the Supreme Court appointment, and now they're already talking about,
what's his name, huh?
Right,
Kavanaugh,
and they're already saying, well, when we take the Senate, we're gonna get him impeached. Well, first of all, I don't think you can impeach a Supreme Court justice, can you?
I think there may be a process by which you can get rid of them.
As it should be, that type of talk is reckless.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't rise to the level of the appropriate standards, then they shouldn't be saying that because it just poisons the well. Clearly, something needs to be done about this whole situation. Women should not be victimized and then be afraid that they can't come forward.
Right.
So we need to solve that problem. But then randomly politicizing questions like this, man, there's somewhere in the middle. There's a reasonable solution and truth.
Well, I mean, look at that exact instance. You're trying to tell me that's, 30-some years ago, they were having fraternity parties that were mass orgies and women being raped. Not one of them went to the police or to a counselor or to an administrator, didn't talk to anybody. Of all these people that this happened to, nobody said a word until 2 days before they are going to vote on a Supreme Court justice.
And the unfortunate thing is she seemed very sincere, right? And you would think that something happened to this woman, so that needs to be taken seriously. It's just, I think that the way it was handled gives rise to many people being deeply suspicious about the ulterior political motives, and it just.
You don't think it could be because there's a picture of her laughing, walking with Pritzker, do you?
Don't know.
I don't know about that.
Don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a break. You're listening to On Target Radio, and we will be returning shortly with more with Jim Dodge. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer. Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and just because summer's over doesn't mean it's too late to paint your home. You know, the new thing right now is painting kitchen and bathroom cabinets white. And CertaPro painters can do just that. Mine are gorgeous, and it really opens up the kitchen and bathroom. Their quality work and attention to detail is unmatched. And the cold weather will be here soon. Sorry for the buzzkill, but this is Chicago, and you know what happens every 3 or 4 months. So it's time to make sure the exterior of your home is protected from the elements. And you'll want the interior looking great for holiday parties with family and friends. Yes, that's right around the corner. So don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Our guest is Jim Dodge. He's running for State of Illinois Treasurer. Any just thoughts in general about the election? What does it look like? What sort of sense do you have on Rauner's chance?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than what the polls say. I think many of these polls have some inherent biases and skews in them, yeah. So I think it'll tighten up. And I just, for all the negativity that the press is throwing at basically Republicans broadly, people should be hopeful. This is a really important question, and they need to do the best they can. They got to make a decision and come out and vote for the candidate they think best represents their concerns. But that's the top of the ticket. It's vitally important people recognize you don't want Mike Madigan to continue with unchecked power if he picks up seats in the House, which is why I'm such a proponent for the Republican caucus, both the Senate and the House. That's critical to check Mike Madigan's grasp on power.
Which is basically what Dan Proft was talking about Wednesday night.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is the number 6 or 8 that we need to take in the House to not have a super minority anymore?
It would be in the range of like 4 to 5 to be not super minority.
Okay.
But we got to make sure it doesn't go the other way, because there's ridiculous amounts of national money pouring in against our congressional candidates.
Oh, absolutely.
And that impacts the ballot. 9 makes him Representative Madigan, not Speaker Madigan. So if the Republicans pick up 9.
That's amazing. I mean, 4, 5, or 9. I mean, that is amazing.
That's thin slicing.
And
it really is.
People really do need to be thoughtful about the entirety of the ballot. There's no room for error here.
Well, and as a county board member, I'm going to make a pitch for us people on the back of the ballot. We need you. We need every single person to come out and vote for the most conservative candidate available. And that's Jim Dodge towards the top of the ticket on the statewide races, and that's me and my friends down on the county board and countywide, and the judges. We all need your help.
It matters. It really matters.
I think people don't truly appreciate the offices that are lower down on the ballot. They really don't. They don't have any idea the kind of stuff that, for instance, that you go through, and everybody does on the county board.
Yeah.
Getting 600 pages of stuff to read in a couple of days with budgets and figures and all the stuff you have to do, and the constant, you never stop running.
And the fact that we have to have day jobs or else be retirees.
Exactly.
In order to even be able to do that, it really is service, because we don't make enough to do that full time.
Exactly.
So you're saying you're not a billionaire?
I am not a billionaire.
Who knew?
She's close.
Who
I'm
knew?
the farthest thing from a billionaire.
She's an heir. She's not a
The only thing that I have going for me is I have no debt.
There you go. Well, that's remarkable. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. But yeah, next week we're going to have, I think, an interesting guest. So,
Dr. Stella.
Yep. And for the next 3 weeks running, if it works out the way we plan, we're going to have some pretty interesting guests. But really, what you need to do is get it set in your head. You're going to go out, you're going to vote, and talk somebody else into going too.
I will also say the mail-in ballots are available now.
That's
if you
right.
would like to request a mail-in ballot and you don't want to go out on November 6th, that's totally fine. They will mail you a ballot. Or the early voting, the in-person early voting starts October 22nd.
So we'd like to thank Jim Dodge for taking the time to come into the studio this evening. Sorry about the traffic, but you made it. And we'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen on Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board and Eric Allen, our video producer. Learn about how you can be a sponsor partner for a lot less than you think. Call 815-741-3474 for details.
And be sure to listen next week when we'll be talking to Nick Stella, who's running for Congress against Bill Foster in the 11th Congressional District. Nick will be a treat. Nick is, not that you're not, don't get me wrong, but Nick
we love Jim, but we love Nick too.
Nick is a really nice, friendly, funny kind of guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He'll never fit in Congress. But anyway, all that and more next week.